surprise that the stadium plan passed at council with a vote of 10-1. The spot behind me is where the Capital Point Hotel and Condominium development is supposed to be built. As of last month, this site has taken in 1.1 million cubic meters of snow. That's more than enough to build a snowball twice the height of City Hall. You might want to start wearing a jacket because I am starting to feel those raindrops drop. Do you think Saskatchewan should adopt daylight saving time?
No.
No.
We have enough change. Every 10 minutes the weather changes. We're fine.
Works for me. Sabeen Ahmad, CBC News, Regina. Sabeen Ahmad, CBC News, Regina. Sabeen Ahmad, CBC News, Regina. Sabeen Ahmad, CBC News, Regina.
Sabeen, what are you seeing or not seeing out there? What I'm seeing is a very cold CBC News reporter.
It's quite cold out here. In fact, I can't even melt the ice off my eyelashes. Now, just a few hours ago, due to the zero visibility out on the highways, there was a multi-vehicle accident just about a kilometer west of the Pence turnoff in the eastbound lanes here. Now, there was a number of vehicles, including an ambulance and a semi-trailer truck that were involved in the accident. The entire eastbound lane was closed off, and just a few moments ago, traffic slowly started moving through. Now, there were a number of fire trucks from Moose Jaw as well as Regina, and a number of ambulances that were out here basically blocking off both sections of the highway. Again, traffic is starting to move slightly, but I did hear, we had a chance to go into the area where the vehicles were, and we did hear that it did start with the ambulance. How it happened, we don't have all those details, but we have heard there were a number of injuries involved as well. Don't know how serious that is, but if you don't have to get onto the highway tonight, if you cannot tell, I suggest you just stay home because that wind is really causing zero visibility and the snow is not helping on those highways, Jill.
The CBC's Sabeen Ahmad joins us now live from the airbase tonight. Sabeen, you've been speaking with officials there. What have you found out?
Well, Jill, this is probably the first, well, not probably, this is the first time a crash with a Harvard aircraft has happened in the past 13, 14 years that 15-wing Moose Jaw has been using these aircrafts for training purposes. Now, it happened just south of this runway behind me shortly before 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, on board was, of course, an instructor and a student. And once they determined that there was an issue with the landing gear in their aircraft, another aircraft was sent up to basically assess what the situation was. Now, after about 45 minutes to an hour, when they determined that the plane wouldn't be able to land safely, that's when they decided that the two should eject themselves from the aircraft. The plane went down in the field. The two that were ejected from the plane were okay, uninjured, but there were emergency crews on the ground that took them to the hospital as a precautionary measure. The plane, on the other hand, not the same story. It's a loss in the ballpark of about $10 million, Jill. I'm stuck between Stampeder fans, is that right?
Yes, you are.
Did you know what the weather was going to be like when you made your trek here?
I knew it was going to be cold.
I was prepared. I checked the forecast.
So did you guys know it was going to be as cold as it is here?
Yes.
Did you miss it?
I do miss it. You know what? It's a great atmosphere. Is it football weather? No.
Does hot sauce actually warm you up?
Yeah, it does.
What kind of recommendations do you have for game day?
Stay hydrated, cover up, definitely.
Layers. That's what Grandma taught me.
I have 3 on.
Oh, I think I've got 6.
I only got 3.
If you haven't got enough warm stuff with you, go and buy yourself some extra layers.
Going to have a backpack full of clothes, blankets, but it's going to be nice on Sunday.
Maybe limit the alcohol intake just so that you can make good decisions and take care of yourself.
And if you're not smart enough to bring clothing to Saskatchewan at the end of November, well, there's not a whole lot probably we can tell you that'll sink in anyways.
Well, you know some fans like to get into body paint, strip down, and what do you think of that?
Crazy.
What do you think of that?
Double that. Crazy.
This is, yeah. Oh, this is warm.
There you go.
Yep, that works. I'm warm. So there you go. Buffalo coats keep you warm. Carrie Joseph, Mark Adams. If you're wearing body paint, they don't think very highly of you. Jill, I'm not going to lie. Today has basically been my most favorite day at Agribition. I know I've only been here 2 days, but this has been a blast. And actually, I think I found a new calling.
What is it?
Standing in a rodeo barrel.
Of course you are. It's not a barrel of monkeys, it's a barrel of Sabeen.
It's true. I'm actually here with Denny. He is the rodeo clown here. Denny, how did you get into this?
My parents were in a rush when they made me, I told you, and I'm allergic to work. Actually, you know what? I've been very lucky. I started about 15 years ago as a Calgary firefighter, and they used to have a charity rodeo for children every year. And bottom line is, a guy was backed out a week before, and they need a rodeo clown and bullfighter. I said I'd do it, and now I pretty well travel all over the world.
So the obvious question is, have you ever been injured doing this job?
You don't have enough time in this interview, girl. I'm like Gumby. You can stretch me. I always pop back into shape. But no, hey, that's just part of the job. I mean, it's Crown Royal, Ibuprofen, Tylenol 3s. Welcome to Rodeo Clown.
So how much time have you spent in this barrel?
A lot. Of course, like here, we have a freestyle bullfight here every night, as well as our bull riding. We have a freestyle bullfight where they turn a bull out on a bullfighter and me, and bullfighter works the bull a little bit and then brings him to the barrel, and I go for riding the barrel. And you're going to go tonight. I hear you're going to volunteer.
I think I might have to.
Don't be lost in words now.
Well, this is pretty cozy enough for me, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over weather duties to Denny for the rest of the day or for the rest of the night, and I'm just going to get on in here and, maybe I'll look into being a little bit of a... No, maybe not. I'll be back with the weather after the break.
Have a good day. See you at the rodeo.
See you at the rodeo. She's brave now, but wait till that bull gets out, and I don't think you'll be all smiles then, Sabeen.
Well, Steve, there's good news, but there's also some bad news. Now, the good news is since the last update, there have been no new flu-related deaths. That number remains at 16. The bad news, however, 82 new lab-confirmed influenza cases since January 24th, bringing that total to 1,184, and 3 new influenza ICU admissions. Now, Saskatchewan's Deputy Chief Medical Health Officer does say this wave of influenza is winding down, but she also says if you don't get vaccinated soon, you could still be infected in a second wave expected in March. Now, the very last vaccination clinic is scheduled for February 13th in Indian Head, but as Worker says, the health regions are putting in efforts to hold as many clinics this week and next week across the province, whether by appointment or drop-in. Now, exactly how many more and how much longer they'll hold them depends on demand. Steve?
All right, thanks, Sabeen. The CBC Sabeen Ahmad in Regina.
I'm not going to lie, I love fog.
It is pretty if you're
my favorite.
not having to drive your car on the highway.
If you're sitting having a cup of coffee and not having to deal with it
Absolutely.
outside.
No fog here tonight, but we're waiting for some rain.
We do have to deal with cloud cover and rain. That's on its way, but just in a portion of the province. The rest of the province, north had to deal with a lot of rain and cloud cover for a while, so they're going to get a break. In the southeast corner, there is a warning actually issued for that. But right here in Regina, it was a beautiful day. We saw warm temperatures. We had the sun out, and as you can see right now, as we take a look outside, the sun is setting, and you can see the trees are slowly changing. Some have already changed, still have some green in there, but we're still sitting at above average right now in terms of our high at about 16 degrees. So we did see it get all the way up to about 18 degrees in Regina, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Let's take a look at our current conditions. 10 degrees up in Stony Rapids and Buffalo Narrows, 12 in La Ronge, 14 in Prince Albert, and as we head down, not much change in those temperatures. 16, as I said, in Regina, 14 in Weyburn. Now, Yorkton, that area is where we're looking at those rainfall warnings, and that will stick around until tomorrow. 10 in Saskatoon, cooler in Kindersley at 9. Now, today, as I said, 18 degrees was the high at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Last year's high was only 4, so we're definitely seeing a nice increase there. That is going to change as we head into the weekend. Now, here is that active weather that's making its way up from the Dakotas. Now, this is the corner where we're going to have to deal with a lot of rainfall, heavy rainfall up to about 70 millimeters, about 3 inches of rain, and wind gusting up to about 70 kilometers an hour, and that's going to stick around well into tomorrow evening. But as the weekend arrives, we will see the temperatures hit around seasonal, and the sun will be out. Now, here is a closer look at what we can expect by Saturday evening. 44 millimeters in Estevan, 38 in Weyburn, 10 in Regina, and you can see Saskatoon is in the clear, as is Swift Current and the Kindersley area. And let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. You'll see the sun reappear after tomorrow. 9 degrees for tomorrow with the rain sticking around pretty much all day. 11, so around seasonal for the football game with kickoff at 2:30, and as we head into Thanksgiving Monday, 10 degrees with the sun continuing to shine into Tuesday with a little warm up of 14 degrees over in Saskatoon. Not so much rainy over there, but we will have some cloud cover tomorrow. Heading into the weekend, the sun reappears and sticks around right into Tuesday with your Thanksgiving Monday at 11 degrees as your high.